Is your team full of players not playing? Is it time to play your free hit? Well, if you think so, then here is the ultimate free hit team. Let's get into it.
Yo, listen up, Rue is stepping up the game, where fantasy Premier League runs in his veins. From transfers to captains, he's always on top, guiding you through every game week non-stop. They say Rue got that Salah flow. Welcome to the channel, enjoy the show. Wild cards, free hits with so much vibe. If you're hunting for success, then make sure you subscribe.
Good day, mate. Welcome back to the channel. I'm FPL Root and welcome back to another FPL video. So in today's video, we're going to be looking at the ultimate free hit draft. So a lot of people will be playing their free hit because of loading up on double game with players from Luton and Liverpool and potentially still having assets from Tottenham and Chelsea, as all four teams do blank. So if your team is looking a bit bad, a bit worse for wear, you're struggling to field 11 players, maybe even at 10, 9, 8, etc., then it might be worth playing your free hit. If you can get to 11 players without playing your free hit, or even 10 players, then I'd probably do that instead. But anyway, this is a good idea on what the best players are for this game week. So if you don't have a lot of them in your team already, then it could be worth playing the free hit. Before we do get into the team, please make sure you do smash a like. Trying to hit 50 likes for this video and trying to hit 2K subscribers before the end of the season. So if you're not subscribed already, please make sure you do subscribe. We'll start off in goal. So I've got Onana in here. Maybe a bit of banter with this one, but for me, I actually think it's a very good fixture for Man United. They're at home. They're playing Fulham, who are not known to score loads of goals, and United are in a bit of form, to be honest. So again, with the free hit, it's just for one game week, so you don't need them to play any more than one game week. So maybe you're going to have players in this team that you probably won't put into your FPL team for the whole season, but for one game week, it's absolutely fine. And that's with Onana for me. I think United have got a real good chance of keeping a clean sheet. Even if they don't, I think they will concede a lot of shots, and Onana will get a lot of save points. Substitute keeper is Areola. Just gone for kind of the cheapest one that is playing. He does play Brentford at home. It's not the best fixture, but still solid fixture if Onana for some reason doesn't end up playing. In defence, I've gone for an Arsenal defender. The game is not the best. Newcastle at home, but they are at home, and I think a lot of teams will have an Arsenal defender in their team. So I think it's just a bit of security. Whereas the rest of the team, you can probably go a bit rogue and go for a few differentials, a few players that a lot of people might not own. I think it's about having the perfect balance in doing that. For example, you've got Gabriel there, which I know a lot of people do own one Arsenal defender at least. And especially in this game week, they might have to play both. So if they do own two. So for me, having Gabriel just kind of protects that a little bit. And I do think they are a good option for this game week. They're at home. Newcastle do struggle away from home a little bit, even though they've started to pick up a bit more form recently. But yeah, I do fancy Arsenal to win this game. It's just I'm not too sure whether the clean sheet is an absolute certainty or not. But I think because of the fact he is so highly owned, and because basically everyone is going to have at least one Arsenal defender, goalkeeper, etc. So I think it's smart just to have him in your free hit team. Dawson next for Wolves. There was a few options for Wolves. You could go for Out-Nori. I think Dawson aerially is just a different kettle of fish, to be honest. I think that he can score a bullet header at any given time in any Premier League game. And you just got to kind of hope that it's going to be this game against Sheffield United. A very, very good fixture for Wolves. So potentially a player that you're a team, I say, that you're going to be targeting for this free hit. Maybe not 3 Wolves players, but I think 2 Wolves players do look really, really good for this game week. And I think having someone like Craig Dawson does give you the threat of a bullet header, a massive haul if he does match that with a clean sheet, etc. You could go for Out-Nori, but for me, I think I will end up going, well, I'm not on the free hit, but I will end up keeping Dawson in this team because of that aerial threat. Aston Villa are another team that I think that you should have a defender for if you are on a free hit. And I've gone for Matty Cash. Yes, you could have gone for Pau Torres, but I think for a one-off game week, I think Cash is positioned the team is secure for this game week, and I think he will play. And he's probably the most attacking out of the Aston Villa defenders. On the left, you've got Luca Dean and Moreno. They're obviously going to be fighting for the place. I know Luka Dean's just come back from injury, but Morena's been doing pretty well. But I think Matty Cash is probably a little bit more secure. Only 2 goals, 1 assist this season. But yeah, I think that Matty Cash could be a nice punt for this free hit. So the midfield could be seen as a little bit boring, but I've gone for the double up in the City midfield. I know a lot of people will have City assets because of their double game week, which is absolutely fine. But I think Bournemouth away could be a nice fixture for City. And I think going De Bruyne and Foden could be a little bit of a differential where I know a lot of people and a lot of teams won't be able to afford both from the double game week because they'll have players like Jota, Darwin Núñez, etc. They'll have a bit more value kind of spread out. Whereas because this is a free hit team, you can really narrow down them bench options to not be that expensive and end up putting most of your money into the team. And I think with Salah obviously blanking in this game week, Son blanking in this game week, you're kind of a bit stuck for kind of premium assets. The top 3 are Haaland, Salah, De Bruyne, Son, Saka, and you've got Saka, De Bruyne in this midfield. So and then Son and Salah are blanking. So for me, I do think that the double City midfield is a really nice choice. Bournemouth away, again, it's not a guaranteed is they're going to do well because I think Bournemouth are a solid team, but when you're comparing it to the fixtures with no Liverpool playing, with no Spurs playing, no Chelsea playing, with no Luton playing, maybe not Luton and Chelsea so much, but definitely no Spurs and Liverpool, it kind of does limit your options. And like I just said, the most expensive midfielders in the game are Salah blanking, De Bruyne in your team, Son blanking, Saka in your team. There is an argument to go for someone like Rashford, who has Fulham at home, but for me, I think I'd go for the double up in the Man City midfield. Again, Saka's in there because it is a home fixture. He's on pens. Yes, Newcastle can be a tough game, but I think the fact that Arsenal at home is the reason I've put him in. And to be honest, just like with Gabriel, he is going to be very highly owned. He's about 58% owned at the moment. And I can only see that going up with maybe people taking out Jota and bringing in Saka for the blank game week. And obviously, Arsenal do have that game, so everyone's going to be playing their Arsenal assets, which I think they would anyway. But yeah, Saka is a probably a must-have just to block people that are not playing the free hit. Neto, though, is complete opposite from that. Neto is a massive differential. He's about 3.2% owned. Sheffield United at home, which is a really nice fixture for this blank game week. And I think Wolves can do a lot of damage to Sheffield United in this game. I know they're without Cunha, who has been injured now, and I think he's going to be out for the season. But they've still got Neto. They've got Hwang, which could be another option if you did want to double up on that Wolves attack. I know Hwang does come under a midfielder, I'm pretty sure. I'll just double check. But yeah, you could go for Hwang instead, who is also a midfielder, 5.5 million, whereas Neto is 5.7 million. So if you were stuck on 0.2 million, you could even potentially double up on them. But for me, I think I just rather Neto. But I do think Hwang is a very good option too. On the bench, I've got Matoma for the midfielders. So Everton at home, but he's not in the starting lineup because I'm not too sure whether he could get rested because they're going to be playing midweek. But for me, that can be anyone. I've just put Matoma in there. You can probably afford anyone that's 6.5 million in there. Maybe you want to go for a West Ham midfielder, maybe a Kudus, etc. So you can even go for Chan on the Hwang Hee-chan on the bench. So yeah, for me that could be anyone. Defensive substitute players, bench players. I've gone for Anderson, Burnley at home. Palace are not great at the minute, but Burnley at home is a very good fixture. Obviously, if Eze and Elise are fit, and then maybe you see something from Palace, don't know, if they see that they might change a bit of form, then potentially go for someone like Eze or Elise. But for me, I think I'd rather just stick to teams I know are pretty solid. And with Palace's form at the moment, there's no way I want to go anywhere near Eze or Elise, to be honest, even if they are fit, but especially because they have been injured recently and they have been injured again. And then Van Heck is the a third sub. Hopefully, I won't need him. Hopefully, all the players I've picked will play. But he's just in there with a good fixture Everton at home, and he's very, very cheap too. We'll move on to the forwards now. So the forward line is probably a little bit boring. We'll start off with Haaland. Yeah, so Haaland's definitely in this team. Bournemouth away. Yes, Haaland probably doesn't do as well away from home, but yeah, his ownership has gone ridiculous again. It's about 74%. Probably will get higher and higher and higher. And Bournemouth away, albeit Bournemouth are a half decent team, I think Man City will go there and score a few goals. So that's why I've gone for Haaland and I've put the captain's armband on him. Next up, Ollie Watkins, another highly owned player, 48%, with Aston Villa playing Nottingham Forest at home. I'm pretty sure Watkins maybe used to play for Forest. I can't remember. I think it was Brentford instead, actually. But yeah, at home, Watkins is a very, very good player. Yes, he's not on pens, but a lot of people will own him, which I'm not saying this is why you should build a team of players people own. But I think if there were other options and maybe Watkins didn't have a great fixture, then maybe I probably wouldn't put Watkins in. But because it's a very good fixture at home, then I think you'll be stupid not to have Watkins in your team. Because I don't really see there being other options for this game week in terms of the forward line. However, you could go for someone like Tony, West Ham away, not the best fixture. But you could maybe, if Isak is back from his injury, but it's Arsenal away. Darwin blanks. So to be honest, there's not much out there. Maybe even Julian Alvarez if you did want to switch up that midfield and not go for De Bruyne and Foden. But for me, there's not many other options out there. So that's why I've gone for Watkins, because I think it's a very good fixture. A lot of people do own him, so you're not going to be left behind if he does do well. And yeah, for me, I think he's a very good player, and especially at home. However, the third striker spot is someone a little bit different. 8.1% owned, 7.1 million. It is Rasmus Højlund. So Man United have a good fixture against Fulham at home. They started to come into a bit of form recently, and it's at home, which I think they're not too bad at home. And Højlund's come into a bit of form as well. Again, it's only for one game week. They do go to Man City away in game week 27. So this is kind of the perfect chance to own a couple Man United options when they do have a really, really good fixture. Like I said, there's not really many other options in there, which may suggest that it might not even be worth playing the free hit. If you can get to a similar team, if you've got Haaland, Watkins, one of Foden and De Bruyne, Saka, maybe an Arsenal defender or goalkeeper, and a Villa defender or goalkeeper, then I think we're pretty much settled. But with this free hit, you are being able to get the Wolves players in, the Man United players in, and kind of load up on De Bruyne and Foden in the same team. However, like I said, there's not really many forward options. So you could go to midfield if you didn't fancy Højlund, but I think it's a very nice option for this free hit, to be honest with you. In midfield, again, around a similar sort of price, you could go for a Bruno Fernandes or a Marcus Rashford. Potentially, you could double up on the Arsenal midfield against Newcastle, go for an Odegaard, could go Bowen, who has Brentford at home. But for me, I really like the look of Højlund at the minute, and I think attacking this free hit by, I guess, getting the players that could do damage and then filling the rest of the team with low owned players that have really good home fixtures. And I think that should be the strategy for this free hit draft if you are playing it. But like I said, if you can field at least an Arsenal, Villa defender, a City midfielder like Foden or De Bruyne, Haaland, Watkins, Saka, then I think you probably don't really need the free hit. But again, it's up to you. If you want to attack it, then I think it's not a bad week to play it, because you can get the Wolves assets that have Sheffield United at home. You can get the Man United assets that have Fulham at home, and you can double up on that Man City midfield. That was it for this video. Please make sure you do smash a like. Let's try and hit 50. And if you are new to the channel, subscribe, hit that subscribe button. It does help me out a lot. I'm trying to hit 2K subscribers before the end of the season, and I can't really do that without you subscribing. So I really do appreciate it if you do subscribe, and good luck for the game week.